Welcome to the Golf Fitness Bomb Squad podcast with Chris Finn, a production of P4S Golf. Welcome to the Golf Fitness Bomb Squad. My name's Chris and I'm your host. And today I'm excited to chat about power. And I think it's a topic that particularly is, if you're listening to this in the new year, or maybe you're beginning to start get into golf fitness training, or maybe you've been training for a while. Like when you think about training for golf, power is the cool, sexy stuff that you think of. You think of box jumps, throwing med balls against walls. You think of swinging really fast, doing explosive things. Those are all power things. And I was at the gym this morning and I saw a guy probably early 60s, in one of the rooms throwing a Dynamax ball, which is a big kind of like a lot of people think of medicine balls as like hard and like bouncy. It's a bigger one that's soft, so you can slam it and it won't bounce up and knock you out off the ground. And he's throwing this thing into a brick wall, a cinder block wall, but he's like pausing at the top, coming through smoothly. Like I could only think to myself, I hope he's not thinking in his mind that he's training for speed or for power, or honestly, I don't know what the heck he would be doing if he wasn't training for power speed, considering he's using like a 10-pound ball. Hopefully he's not working on technical stuff, so that's not going to transfer. But unfortunately, that's something that we see a lot when people go to the gym and they're thinking about working out for the game of golf. They'll take medicine balls or they'll rotate with cables and they'll try to do things that look golfy. And unfortunately, most of the time people are doing nothing for their power output, right? So just to rewind, just to make sure we're all on the same page, if you haven't listened to other episodes, we cover all the different levels and layers of training in those. But, bottom tier, if we think of a pyramid, is really, you're thinking of, the foundation is mobility. Obviously there's nutrition and rest and, recovery, those sorts of things. But basically, if you just think of simply stuff you would do in the gym, having the ability to rotate in your hips and your shoulders and your spine and in your neck, those are the four main rotary centers. You have to have those in place. Now, once we have that mobility, then we want to have, generally a layer of stability where you can control those joints. You have motion. Now, can you control that motion? Your third layer on top of that is now how strong are you in those motions? That's strength. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. The four big main strength areas that actually matter when it comes to golf performance: upper body pushing, upper body pulling, vertical and horizontal, as well as squatting and deadlift or hip hinging patterns, right? And then on top of that, now once you have the mobility, you can control it. You have strength. You're strong enough to produce force. Now we want to work on producing that force quickly and doing it fast. And so how much force you can produce, how quickly you can produce it is going to basically equals power. So if you produce 100 pounds of force and you do it at a rate of 1, your power metric would be 1, let's call it 1 watt, right? If you do 100 pounds of force and you produce it at a rate of, I'm just throwing easy enough math here. So you do a rate of 5, right? Now all of a sudden your wattage output's 500, right? So simple math there. That's not the actual real math, but you get the gist of what it is, or you could stay moving at a rate of 1, but you could move 200 pounds, right? Now all of a sudden you put out 200 watts. So you can influence power both by having more strength as well as by having more speed or rate of force development. So how fastly you can move that force. So you see a lot with younger kids. They'll tend to move things really, really fast. You see this a lot. I got a lot of especially the young kids coming out on tour that are moving fast. They're scrawny, skinny. And you're like, how the hell do they move fast? Well, or how the hell do they move that club so fast, right? Well, it's because they're able to produce a lot of power based off elasticity and a lot based off of speed. They're not using a lot of the strength element, so they're not necessarily producing a lot of force. They're just producing a smaller amount of force, but really, really fast. And that's how they get a power output, which is club head speed. Our older golfers, you'll tend to see, will be people who can produce higher club head speeds, but they are going to do it less so elastically, because as we age, that just your ability to do so decreases. But you're going to rely more heavily on the strength side of things, right? So this is stuff we see in our long drive guys as they age, right? The shift, we're still focused on plyometrics and elasticity and rate of force development. But just naturally, as you age, you're going to have to rely a little bit more on force production and how much can you produce. So that hopefully gives you us puts us all on the same page in terms of what power is, right? And then all the layers that lead up to power. Now, when it comes to the golf swing, we've done a crap ton of data, research, analysis. Um, and really what we've come up with is there's really only two moves that power in these two areas that actually statistically have a causational impact on club head speed. The first is vertical peak power, so vertical thrust. So think of, you do a vertical leap, you push down, you push your force from your lower body pushes into the ground and it propels you up. Okay. So in the golf swing, if we talk ground reaction forces, this is your vertical peak force, particularly on your lead leg that matters. So your left leg for a right-handed player, your right leg for a left-handed player. That's where you'll see it really kind of, be exhibited in the golf swing. If you can increase your ability to produce peak power vertically through your lead leg, you're going to swing the club faster. Now, there is a caveat, and just producing a lot of force through the lead leg vertically doesn't necessarily equal club head speed, because you have to do it at the right time. So this is one of my favorite examples. Is we had probably a guy in his late 50s, and we had a kid in he's probably 16, 17 at the time. They actually produced the same amount of force into the ground vertically. So if we remember the power equation, how much force you can produce and then how fast you can produce it. The difference is that the older guy produced all of that force after he hit the golf ball. The younger guy produced all of that force vertically through his lead leg, basically from the time he was, from the time he was at the top of his swing before he got down to P5, or lead arm parallel to the ground coming down through in the downswing. So he produced it really, really quick, and he did it really, really early in the golf swing relative to the other guy. The importance of that being the older guy produced a bunch of force. He worked out, he was strong, but he did it all after he hit the golf ball. That's not going to help you swing the golf club fast and make the ball speed go up, right? Now, part of that issue is he didn't have any lead hip or left hip internal rotation. So for him to clear his hip and produce that speed early was just not physically possible unless he was going to have a back injury. So there was patterning that we had to teach, and so on and so forth. But that hopefully illustrates to you how you create club head speed, and is directly impacted how you create power and when you create the power, right? So vertical thrusting. So that could be things like in place plyometrics, bunny hops, jumping, box jumps. I guess against popular belief, jumping up on a box is actually easier on your nervous system than stepping down off of a box and landing. So jump up on an 18-inch box. That's actually less taxing on your nervous system than jumping off the 18-inch box and having to stick the landing. Little nugget for you there today. Next time you see someone trying to crush box jumps, just go next to them on a box and jump off of it, and then just smile and say, hey, what I'm doing is harder than what you're doing. But anyway, I digress. So any sort of jumping, thrusting, like bunny hop, plyometric type things. You can also, you could work on squatting, lunging, deadlifting, kettlebell swings, anything that's strengthening your hip hinge or your knee dominant movements, squat pattern type movements will increase your ability to produce force vertically through the ground. With med balls, you can think of an overhead slam. So bringing the ball up over the head and slamming it down. That's another way when we look at force plates and ground reaction forces with that exercise, that gets really high. So just some examples of exercises in the gym that are going to help you. You notice I did not say rotational med ball throws. We'll save that for another episode. Don't waste your time, guys. A little open loop we'll create there. All right. So tune in for the next episode. The other element that we found has a causational relationship to club head speed from a statistical standpoint is upper body push power. So think bench press motion. Okay. Think a chest pass. So if anyone ever played basketball, you have a med ball, you do a chest pass, right? So when you do this with a med ball, how far you can throw a weighted medicine ball, is directly correlated, or not correlated. That's actually, statistically speaking, less impressive. It's causationally impactful in club head speed. So we know for every inch that you increase your seated chest pass, exactly how many miles per hour we should see increased in your club head speed, right? So this is an upper body strength in terms of like a bench press or any sort of chest pressing movements. No need to press overhead, so do overhead presses or anything like that. That puts a lot of risk in play for your shoulders, particularly if you're over the age of 30, and that risk just goes up every decade. But a chest press or anything along those lines, getting stronger in that arena, and then training speed in that arena. So if you're using a med ball, firing chest passes plyometrically, off a wall or off the ground, or you got to catch it. You're laying on your back, you fire it up in the air, you catch it down, and then fire it back up. Just watch your face, make sure you can catch it. You don't hit yourself in the face. But hopefully, just kind of quick and dirty examples of the two actual power metrics that matter. Most of them you will never see anyone do in the gym because they just don't think about them. They think things need to look like the golf swing. And in actuality, things that look like the golf swing in the gym usually, generally what we have found are actually less impactful than working on vertical peak power and upper body push power. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully we diffused a few myths out there in terms of what you should be doing at the gym to develop your power. If you are doing some of the stuff that was not talked about, just switch today. Can't control what you did yesterday, but you can do something you now know. So go do something more intelligent tomorrow that's going to actually benefit your golf game in a more impactful way. So thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll catch you on the next episode.